Samsung, it's me, DjDoubleT, here at Existing with some hard to make romantic cartoon because I passed out yesterday, unintentionally. I was just exhausted. After I did stream, I was like, okay, I got this. I sat down, I ended up reading some webtoons, and my eyes kept on feeling tired. I was like, okay, I only have 15 minutes to like rest, and then I fell asleep through the night. And I'm so sorry. My schedule has been a little whack lately. But I'm here at some point in time to make up for what I missed. We're continuing with episode 9, and then we'll see whatever time we have to play some other games at some point. So yeah, hope all is well for y'all. Okay. Oh, I don't want to let you. I don't want to let go. Stay with me, please. I'm so sorry, but I'm still Team Jinha over uh, whatever his face was. At this point, I forgot Hyun. So that's so young. Yoon Jae is actually my character when I'm normal instead of being baby faced. Alright, and that's extra. Let's dive into episode 9, see where we go. Oh yeah, episode 9, what's the genre? 1? Oh. Am I at the hospital again? It was just the usual shutdown. I woke up just fine. What did my sister sound like again? Do-young, you shouldn't study so hard. I'll do everything for you instead. You have to stay healthy. Oh, Do-hee was crying, and Hyun and Jinha stood next to her. Is that a worried look on his face? What's wrong with him? Is that a worried look on his face? Hyun was checking on me with like a serious expression on his face. And Jinha had lowered his head like he was in some kind of despair. I can't blame them for the sudden change of genre. I'll blame the writer instead. But first, I needed something to smooth something over. Something's over. Why do you all look like that? I spoke in a hoarse voice. Jinha was the first to answer. It's all my fault. Wait, what? What are you talking about? I was starting to get a headache. It's all my fault. I shouldn't have lost my temper and said things about BL. Why do you think so? I wasn't going to tell him that. If I tried saying that out loud, the system might do something worse to stop me. I might get locked up in the end. Goddamn system. The doctor came in and told me to get some rest. 3 of them left the room at once. I finally got some time to rest. Seriously, the writer must be insane. BL. I'm the main character of a BL comic? I was speechless. I couldn't believe that this was actually happening. The writer should have at least told me when I came back in here. If this is a BL comic, does that mean I barely managed to stop myself from screaming. Why? This can't be happening. No! Wait, what on earth is the writer thinking? I groaned and twisted and turned on the bed. I didn't come back here to take Do-hee's place of enjoying romance. I wasn't going to let this slide. I had to fix this. I know you're watching. We need to talk. There was nobody in the room. I may have looked like a lunatic, but I was more serious than ever. I'll wreck things out again if you don't show up. I scanned the ceiling with sharp eyes. Oh yeah? You're going to ignore me? I grabbed the ivy pole. I was about to swing it and break a vase next to it. You're giving me a headache. Well, look who's talking. What have you done with that story? I want to ask you the same thing. The writer cried out. I looked up at the ceiling with my mouth shut. I was upset, but I had no time for useless arguments. Turn it back! I demanded in a desperate voice, but the system was quiet. Hello? Anyone there? Then a pop-up message showed up, but it wasn't the answer I was waiting for. Too late.
What?
What? I can't change the genre twice. It's not going to work. You won't get your way this time. But you asked me to bring you back here, so do your best in playing your role. The writer was insistent. I won't stop trying. I'm going to finish the story this time. You can't leave until I do that. I was at a loss for words. I'm stuck in a BL comic, and I'm the male lead. Or should I call myself the bottom? Whatever. I'm sorry, excuse me. Wait, why does the male lead have to be bottom energy? Alright. Alright. Well, this was absurd. It was like a bullet out of the blue. I can't do this. I'm sorry, guys. But then, I might have to stay here for the rest of my life. I didn't come back to stay here for long. I just wanted Do-hee, Hyun, and Jinha to live on. I wanted to plan a happy future for the three of them, and then leave. That was all I ever hoped for. Now what do? Do I really have to do as the writer says? I do like Hyun and Jinha. They helped me a lot when I was having a hard time. I wouldn't be lucky enough to find such nice friends in the real world. But the writer wants me to love them. I can't have romantic feelings towards my friends. Boys love. Does that include things like kissing? I imagine myself kissing Hyun. I imagine myself kissing Jinha. Sorry, it's Jinha, not Hyun. It was just an imagination, but I felt myself burning up. My face burning up. I hate that system. I hate that the system is trying to help me. I gritted my teeth, recalling what it did to me at the library stairs. Did it push me off the stairs? So that I would make some physical contact with him? To create a romantic mood or something? If this was going to be a regular thing, I would die of shame. It sucks. I can't do this. Not like this. Do-young was still at the hospital. I was still worried about him, but confused at the same time. I thought everything would be okay if I kept you from being bullied. But today I realized that it wasn't good enough. It was a bizarre feeling, watching Hyun take Do-young straight to Kangsung Hospital. I was upset that I wasn't the one who could help him. You've got the guts. Do you think you have Ganghyun on your back? Bastard like you is no better than a parasite. You live off the life of others. I've heard these insulting words a million times. I can just pass it over like I always have, but I was angry at myself for being helpless at the hospital. Shut up. His arrogant look melted away when I took a step forward. He flinched and stepped back. Lee Jin-ha. A middle-aged man with fiery eyes appeared. It was my father. I was about to lose my temper, but then my head cooled down the moment I saw him. Father? Lee Jun-hook, get inside. Okay. Jun-hyuk went inside. Father and I sat on the couch. You said you'd do anything if I sent you Kangsung High. Remember that? Yes. I don't allow idleness in my house. You should start getting management training. Father wasn't asking for my opinion. He was just ordering me. Okay. Father looked surprised, like he didn't expect me to be so obedient. You can't take your words back. I want to get that management training. Then will I get to Ganghyun's league? Your first goal is Ganghyun Kangsung Group. Not bad. That's my son. Father had an approving smile on his face. I'm not doing it for you. I'm only doing it for him. No. I want more. What? I want to beat Ganghyun. That sounds good. Do as you please. When my raw emotions slipped out, father's eyes began with greed. Grandfather called me. He must have heard that I made a scene at the hospital. I said in front of grandfather. Is he going to scold me? DjDoubleT. But I barely managed to keep a straight face. What about him? Grandfather grinned. I'm hearing the name quite often these days. Is he your friend? Sort of. Hyun. I could tell from his tone that he didn't approve Do-young. I saw this coming. Don't have such a nobody by your side. Would nobody offended me? No, Do-young is. My lips flinched, but I closed my mouth. I didn't want to say anything unnecessary. You should have people who are at your beck and call. Sure, I'm just hanging out with them. I lied. Only then did grandfather give me an approving smile. But I felt more terrible than ever. I was upset. I felt miserable. DjDoubleT deserves better than this. If only I had more power. I left the hospital after a few days. I still have no idea about BL. I'm getting anxious. I was a huge fan of comics, but I've never read any BL. Well, I did hear that BL fans like tough guys. Will I run into some tough guys too? A few days passed, but nothing happened. Was it a stereotype I had? Rather, I felt things were getting more awkward between Hyun and Jinha. I can't treat them in the same way I used to, but are they too busy studying for the exam? Hyun and Jinha had changed. Why is he sleeping all the time? Why is he so busy? Why is he so busy? It was hard to see Hyun's face. He rarely comes to school. It wasn't unusual for him to skip school, but he always called me when he did come to school. But now I lost contact with him completely. Jinha and I were in the same class, so we didn't see each other every day. I was just seeing him literally. Jinha's sparkling eyes used to chase me all the time, but now they looked hollow. He spent most of the time at school half asleep. Jinha, are you studying so hard for the exam too? He fell straight asleep at recess. I didn't dare wake him up. Thanks, Sai, for being around. How chaotic has the hot potatoes been? Oh, lovely. And it all started because of me. Well, I feel upset. Wait, why am I so upset? I felt like I'd become a whining child. I was embarrassed myself. I stooped over my desk. I used to get along fine by myself. You're welcome, Sai. You know, I have to start things, pass it on, and then move on with what I need to do with the day. Now, you can't escape because you never chose to run away. Why did I become so vulnerable? Did the writer change my personality too? Is it because of the change in genre? But then I realized it was all nonsense. And the writer would have changed my feelings for them. So I had to admit, I was growing used to everything in here. I was getting used to the warmth, the kindness, and to Hyun and Jinha who showed me all that. I've been left alone only for a short while. A while ago, I feared they might run into me at any time. But I've put aside those worries for now. I was losing my train of thought. This is supposed to be a BL comic. Does BL stand for Boys' Loneliness? I was getting more and more nonsensical. Hey, it's not like I'm waiting to be loved or something like that. I feel like I'm really gonna care like Baga. I was getting tired of talking to myself. Jinha was sleeping, stooped over his desk. I stretched out my arm and I touched his hair. Oh, a strand of hair was bothering his eyes. I gently fixed his hair and saw his face come up close. He looked tired. I'm very tired. What a shame. Studying isn't everything in life. Then I opened his eyes. Flustered, I felt my body freeze up. I was just trying to fix your hair. I tried to pull my arm back, but Jinha grabbed my hand. Jinha? I like you touching my hair. Jinha smiled gently, and then he fell back asleep. And in the meanwhile, my heart began racing fast. What was that? Oh, what's the genre? 1 finished.
네가 없는 시간을 어떻게 버텨야 좋을까?
How am I supposed to endure time without you?
지금 나가면 언제 또 올 수 있는데?
When will you be able to come
많이
back?
서운해.
You're making me a little sad. Seriously, these episodes are getting shorter. I'm like, 15 minutes? Alright. I'm gonna play a second episode because that was too short. I want to continue this. Episode 10 as well. Episode 10, what's the genre? Part 2. I ran away from Jinha to the hallway. Did my heart just leave up? No, it must be because I was startled. Yeah, that must be it. I patted my chest to calm myself. I saw a familiar figure walking down the hallway. Jungmin? Where are you going? He frowned a bit and bit his lip the moment he saw me. It wasn't like him. Jungmin was always kind. Why isn't he telling me where he's headed to? Oh, is he going to the bathroom? That I can understand. Some kids didn't like using the school bathroom. So, I decided to change the subject. Where's Hyun? He must be busy these days. I was about to chit-chat a bit and then leave. Actually, how can you be so slow-witted? Jungmin glared at me angrily, gritting his teeth. Is he not going to the bathroom? Why is he glaring at me? I couldn't believe that Do-young looked so innocent. This is all your fault. Hyun was mad at me for telling the chairman about Do-young. Everything changed when Cha Do-young showed up. Actually, all of those things happened because Cha Do-young was bullied. Cha Do-young this, Cha Do-young that. I wondered if Hyun knew that he'd been caring about nothing but Do-young recently. It was natural that Chairman Gang was watching him cautiously. Deep down I knew it wasn't Do-young's fault. But someone will get hurt at this rate, so I decided to be the villain. Hyun said he was tired of you. Jungmin. He's not calling you for a reason, don't you get it? I can't believe it. I have to tell you this. Do you feel better now that I'm the villain? You don't have to say any more. I was the one who heard the mean words, but for some reason Jungmin looked distressed. I had no idea what was going on. Jungmin brushed past me. Why is he lying? Yes, I haven't heard from Hyun for a while. I believe in Hyun. Our deal isn't over yet. He talked about the deal every other day. There's no way he changed his mind. If he really got tired of me, he would have... I'm done with you. Get the hell out of my life. It was just my imagination, but it felt so real. I felt a shiver. I know him so well. What should I do now? Oh yes, Sai. It is a dating sim slash otome game slash BL game. Well, it's a BL game. Boy love game, you know? I stopped for a moment before I took out my cell phone and texted him. So, otome games, I believe, are just like another version of like dating sim, but Japanese. And I think they're more like straight. BL is like boy love, so like, it's gay. If there's something you're trying to tell, you say it yourself. Now, what will Hyun do? Well, he ignored my text. I couldn't believe this. I sighed and moaned all day. Didn't text me back the next day or the day after that. How can you do this to me? Did I text someone else? I've left him folded my phone 100 times. I waited and waited. If I call him, he'll think I'm waiting for him desperately. I don't want him to think that. But as time went by, the word maybe started to float all over my head. Maybe Jungmin was telling the truth. No way. Maybe he didn't get the text because of some error. That was the only explanation I could think of. Maybe I should visit the service center. I was staring at my phone when a text from Dohui popped up. Doyoung, enjoy lunch. Her bubbly text made me feel much better. Feel. Oh. Her bubbly text made me feel more bitter. I kept on thinking about what Jungmin had said, and his words started to get to me. Do I deserve to hear what I heard? Why the long face? Jinha asked. I was a bit surprised, but that he wasn't sleeping. It's nothing. I forced a smile. I didn't want to complain to Jinha for what happened with Hyun. I heard Gang Hyun grew tired of me. Do you think it's true? He might get the wrong idea that I was asking for love advice. I felt lost. I didn't know what to do. The writer told me to stay until the story ended. But at this rate, there would be no progress in the story. And I had no idea what it was that the writer wanted me to do. Should I confront him face to face? But I didn't even know where to find Hyun. Go to Kang Sung group's building and ask for Hyun? It was ridiculous. I sighed heavily. Do Young stooped over his desk, looking frustrated. Is it because that person doesn't show up? I had to stop myself from thinking that. I was getting worried about Hyun, but at the same time, I was glad to be spending time with Do Young alone. I never knew I was so small-minded, but it seemed Do Young thought differently. He pretended he didn't care for him, but he kept checking on his cell phone. He also glanced at the door and the hallway quite often. And when he sighed, every now and then, I felt myself grow upset. Do Young, please look at me. I desperately wanted Do Young's attention back. Jinha walked me home every day. I told him it wasn't necessary, but he was always so insistent. I noticed that he looked terribly tired today. Jinha, you don't have to take me home today. The moment I said that, Jinha's face stiffened as if he was very upset. Oh, he looked like an abandoned puppy. From that point on, Jinha kept on walking with his mouth shut. I must have hurt his feelings. He's walking too fast. I can't even keep up. I held Jinha's hand to stop him.
진아야,
Jinha. As soon as my hand touched his, Jinha stopped on the spot. It's just, I thought you looked too tired. Then he pulled me to his side. The next moment, I found myself in Jinha's arms. I felt embarrassed, but Jinha held me tighter. Don't tell me to leave. It hurts my feelings. I could feel that he was desperate. It was the first time I felt Jinha's feelings for me. But I'm not sure about my feelings yet. I could hear Jinha's heart pounding. It was so fast and loud, like he just finished a race. My face was burning up. I felt embarrassed, bashful, and confused. My heart must have taken on the pace of his heart. It feels strange. After a while, we sat down on a bench and talked. It felt like we were recording. Sorry, not recording. We were reconciling. I was upset. You kept telling me to leave. It's not like that. I know, but... Jinha lowered his head, then he mumbled, wiggling his fingers. But you're waiting for Gang Hyun. I didn't know what to say. Just hit the nail on the head. I should say no, but it was kind of true. I did wait for him, but I wasn't that desperate, was I? I didn't want to insist that I wasn't waiting for him. It wouldn't hurt Jinha's feelings even worse. Look, I took out my phone and made sure Jinha could see it. I searched for Hyun's name. Then I texted Hyun. It wasn't that long. Jinha opened his eyes wide. Idiot. Do-young. Jinha called my name, but I didn't stop. Fool. Moron. Stupid. I texted again and again to make up for the frustration for the both of us. Jinha took my hand to stop me. Do-young, what are you doing? Well, Sai, I'll only get tokens if it continues and people, are different. He'll ignore them all the way, anyway. And it only works if it's someone new. And it's only one token per person. Oh. Perfect. I felt offended and bothered because he ignored my texts. Then my cell phone buzzed. Yang Hyun. That was the name on the screen. I swallowed hard. Now he's calling me? It's kind of scary. Hello? My voice trembled. Well, I was guilty of provoking him. They get too mad and keep on ignoring my text. I waited for Hyun's answer. Wait.
뭐?
What? I was puzzled. And so was Jinha as he listened to Hyun's call from my side. But Hyun didn't say anything more. He just hung up on the phone. What the hell? Jinha smiled as I stared at my phone blankly. He's so weird, isn't he? Then Jinha broke into laughter. What was I supposed to wait for? That question was left unsolved until late in the night. Hyun texted me. Come out. I'm at the park in front of your house. Do you think I always do as you say? I'm supposed to wait for you and then out to meet you? Now it's your turn to wait. I read his text, but I didn't go outside. However, it wasn't long before I grew nervous. I looked between the clock, my phone, and out the window anxiously. Oh, Do-young, what's wrong? He asked me, and I finally stood up. I'm meeting a friend at the park. I appreciate you coming all the way here, but I won't let this slide. I ran outside the park. Hyun put up a gentle smile as soon as he saw me. You're here. Why are you smiling? I glared at him. He looked guilty and embarrassed. I've been busy. Do-young's eyes seemed to be saying, you're not the only one who's been busy. He must be angry. Alright. Have a nice meeting, Sai. I'll see you later. I rolled my eyes, trying to find the right words. Then I recalled the text he sent me. What was it? Idiot? Fool? He was provoking me, but strangely enough, I wasn't that offended. I kept breaking into a smile instead. Do-young raised an eyebrow. No one's called me a moron before. Do-young's sulky look melted away. The next minute, he looked like a sweet puppy. We're friends. We can joke to each other. The way Do-young mumbled was so cute. I'll let you slide this time. I tapped his nose with my finger. What was that text? If there's something you're trying to tell me, say it yourself. Did someone talk to you about me? Tell me, who was it? Who picked on you? I stared at Do-young's lips. All he had to do now was to spit the name out from those pretty lips, then I'd take care of everything else. It was as simple as that. I could warn the guy, get rid of the guy, or whatever. Hyun looked quite insistent. I shouldn't mention Jungmin. I don't want to tell him. Gang Hyun.
뭐?
What? That's the guy who picked on me. You're the main reason I had a hard time. Couldn't help but smile at Do-young's sudden face. I never imagined that he wouldn't mention my name. Should I get rid of myself? Do-young was full of surprises. It wasn't what I was expecting, but it was amusing enough. Hyun laughed and then stretched out his arm. In the blink of an eye. He took me in his arms. Oops. His face was so close to mine, I simply tried to push him away, but he didn't budge. What's he doing? What is this? What's he trying to do? Isn't this too fast? I could even feel his breath. There was a red alert going off my head. While I stiffened up, Hyun spoke to me in a low voice. How are you going to get rid of me? There was a gentle smile on Hyun's lip. I swallowed hard. I felt my face burning up. It must be because he was too close to me. You're too close. I slapped Hyun on the head. For a moment, I thought he might file a complaint against me first thing in the morning. But Hyun just laughed it over. I'll have to keep in touch. I don't want to get slapped on the head again. It's not that... Forget it. If anyone picks on you, just be sure to remember the name. All you have to do is tell me the name. I'll let it slide this time. Don't take it all by yourself, okay? I nodded, feeling bewildered. I can remember how I got home. I was lying in my bed before I knew it. I recalled what happened with Jinha. I recalled what happened with Hyun. Jinha. My heart was racing. When I turned around in my bed, I remembered what happened to with Hyun. Am I a two-timer? Now I was starting to get angry. I sat up in my bed. Why am I still wide awake? I must be the one who's crazy. I shut my eyes tight and laid back down on the bed. I tossed and turned all night. It was around dawn that I finally fell asleep. Warning. System activated. File open. User God Desktop Work Must Love. File name N Ha Sang-woo. User God Desktop Work Must Love. File name Go Ji-hun. User God Desktop Work Must Love. Final name Yu Yeon-ho. I would have been shocked had I been awake. Some new events were about to begin. What's the genre? Finished.
네가 힘들 때 옆에 없었다니. 나한테도 화가 나.
Can't believe I wasn't by your side when you were suffering. I'm so angry with myself.
넌 만날 때마다 새로워.
Every time I see you, I discover a new side of you. Alright, well, that's the end of Hard to Make a Romantic Cartoon. Well, part 2 at least. But yeah, we'll continue with whatever next episode, however many more for this series. I do wonder if we're getting the love territory, or are we just figuring it out still after the next episode. But for now, I'll thank Sai for stopping by and for anybody else who did. And if you see this on YouTube, thanks for watching. And if you want to see this live or whatever game I'm playing at the time, feel free to come to Twitch. But for now, DjDoubleT out and about, and deuces. Have a good time.